Good evening and welcome to the news at 6, where we get you the day's top developing stories, including that news about Prime Minister Modi's suit selling for almost 4.5 crores. I'm still trying to get my head around that fact. But then, of course, the big story is coming in from Bihar, and we'll get you details of that in a bit. I'm Tracy Chilshi. Let's get you the headlines first. Nitish Kumar to take oath as Chief Minister of Bihar on Sunday, meets Governor with claims of majority support in the Assembly. Nitish Kumar expresses apology for stepping down as Chief Minister last year, accuses the BJP of dirty politics as former aide Jitan Ram Manjhi quits as Bihar Chief Minister. 2 more arrests over the leak of classified documents from the Petroleum Ministry. Documents relating to coal and power also recovered from the accused indicate a deeper espionage. Markets end a 7-day winning streak after a surge of 4.4%, loses 231 points today. Weekend factor ahead of budget week seen as weighing on sentiment. And Ukraine ceasefire on the edge as violence continues. UK slams Russia, agrees to support NATO's peace effort. The big political story today coming in from Bihar. Nitish Kumar is set to return as the Chief Minister of the state after a dramatic U-turn by his opponent Jitan Ram Manjhi. Just hours ahead of the much-awaited trust vote in Assembly, Manjhi resigned as the Chief Minister, claiming that his supporters were receiving death threats and risked suspension from the party or the Assembly in face of an open vote. Taking cue, Nitish Kumar met the governor about just an hour back and staked claim to form government. He will now take oath on the 22nd of February, just 8 months after stepping down from the CM's post.
आज की परिस्थिति में दोहराया है और महामहिम राज्यपाल महोदय ने हम लोगों के दावे को स्वीकार किया और सरकार बनाने के लिए उन्होंने आमंत्रित किया है। आपकी जानकारी के लिए 22 फरवरी रविवार को शाम 5 बजे शपथ ग्रहण होगा।
Well, speaking there, Nitish Kumar also described his decision to quit office last year as a mistake. Apologizing to the people of the state, Nitish said that he was ready to lead from the front. His remark came after Jitan Ram Manjhi quit as the Chief Minister of Bihar hours before the trust vote in Assembly. Here's how the drama unfolded today.
मैं फिर सार्वजनिक तौर पर अपने किए की गलती स्वीकार करता हूं और पूरे बिहार वासियों से मैं क्षमा मांगता हूं कि भाई मुझसे गलती हुई, माफ कर दीजिए। अब हम फिर कभी इस तरह के भावना में आकर कोई काम नहीं करेंगे। मैं इतना लोगों को आश्वस्त करना चाहता हूं।
Hours after Jitan Ram Manjhi blinked and submitted his resignation as the Chief Minister of Bihar, his one-time mentor and predecessor Nitish Kumar came up with this apology. Nitish, who is looking to return as Chief Minister of Bihar, will now hope to be allowed by Governor K.N. Tripathi to prove his majority in the Assembly.
चारों तरफ बिहार में जो कुछ भी हो रहा था, इसके चलते भारतीय जनता पार्टी की छीछा लेदर हो रही थी, लेकिन फिर भी उनके मन में जो अहंकार है वो हम लोगों को तोड़ना चाहते थे, कमजोर करना चाहते थे। सारे अनैतिक कार्यों को उन लोगों ने प्रमोट किया और आज तो खुलकर कह दिया बहुमत का जुगाड़, ये जो संसदीय प्रणाली है उसके साथ एक क्रूर मजाक किया।
The apology came after a morning of high drama in Bihar. Hours ahead of a crucial trust vote that he was likely to lose, Jitan Ram Manjhi met the governor and submitted his resignation. Despite the BJP's support, Manjhi did not have the numbers to win the trust vote after JDU and its allies like the RJD and Congress rallied behind Nitish Kumar.
कुछ जो विधायक यहाँ पर आए, उन्होंने कहा कि हम अपना जमीन बेच करके काम नहीं करना चाहते, 2-2 करोड़ रुपया तक के और सीट की जहां से चाहेंगे वहां से सीट देंगे और मंत्री बनावेंगे। इस प्रकार का लोभ दे करके उन लोगों को एक तरह से हॉर्स ट्रेडिंग किया गया। हम समझे कि इन सब बातों से उबरने का एक ही उपाय है कि हम इस्तीफा दे दें बहुमत रहते भर में भी, और यही हमने किया है।
Manjhi was asked to step aside to allow Nitish Kumar's return as Chief Minister last month as the party campaigns for the Bihar election due later this year. When Manjhi did not oblige, he was expelled by the party. He sought a trust vote but quit abruptly when it was clear that he would not win. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, to take us forward into what really played out in Bihar today and the politics of it all, we've got Neelab Mishra, who's the editor of Outlook Hindi, joining us in studio this evening. Neelab, thanks so much for joining us. At this point of time and looking at how the day's developments have been, was that the best route that perhaps Manjhi could have taken?
This was the only option left for him, I suppose, because he didn't have a majority in the House, and when it dawned on him that despite BJP's support he would get nowhere seeking a vote of confidence, he resigned, and that was the only honorable thing left, I would say.
All right. Also, Neelab, give us a sense really of, what we've been seeing in the past, few days of what, in fact, the past 2 weeks, let's say, about what has been played out there. How does Nitish Kumar turn up looking like? Is he looking like a winner, or is he looking like somebody who's, dealt into some really petty politics?
Well, if you look at it this way, he shouldn't have shown that kind of haste to become a chief minister again. But then he had no option, because Delhi results showed him that people voted for a strong leader and a credible alternative. And he thought with Manjhi being there and the kind of utterances he had made, the administration had gone for a 6. Etc. So he thought if Manjhi continued, maybe the JDU would have no chance. BJP was of course fishing in troubled waters, and it thought that this was by propping up Manjhi, they could divide the social base of Nitish Kumar and RJD combined, which is likely to fight the elections together. So, and as we all know that Nitish Kumar had built a vote base among the Mahadalits, and by winning Manjhi to its side, the BJP hoped that probably it would get even with Nitish Kumar, and this vote bank would switch to them. It has yet to be seen whether and how this pans out. Whether the Mahadalit vote would actually go with the BJP. But then again there is a danger. If this vote goes with the BJP, it is likely to alienate its upper caste votes. Because Madhi's administration was, there was no administration as such, and he was trying to organize the Dalit bureaucrats on his side.
Yes.
With a good administration, this would have given him dividends.
Yes.
But that didn't happen.
Absolutely.
And I think on the whole, the BJP's gamble didn't pay off as they had expected. But this, in any case, they would still not like to lose Manjhi, because that is again, Manjhi brings an addition to however votes or he may bring, which it might be much, it might not be much, but then it would be an addition to their vote bank, especially if they are managed to control and consolidate their own previous vote.
Yes.
If that goes, then of course then the BJP would look like being a loser from this game. As it is, we can't say with certainty as to who would finally gain in this race, because there are still 6 months to go.
Yes.
Much would depend on Nitish Kumar's performance in administration in these 6 months, and also how the BJP plays its own cards.
Well, we do have to give it to Nitish Kumar that in the past, few years that he has been in power, Bihar has of course seen an upscale as far as development is concerned, employment also to some extent is concerned. So as far as that's concerned, perhaps things may look in his favor. What, of course, at this point of time, if we talk about Manjhi, you of course saying that BJP may like to retain him. This was definitely his moment in the sun. Do we see him now getting into the BJP full-fledgedly?
He might not. The BJP might not want to bring him into its own party fold, because it's also after seeing what Kiran Bedi did to them in Delhi and how it affected their own party organization in Delhi, they would be a bit cautious in dealing with Manjhi. But the best case scenario for BJP is that Manjhi floats its own party, which Manjhi would probably do. He would have his own party with some disgruntled elements from Janata Dal, RJD, Rashtriya Janata Dal of Lalu Yadav, like Mr. Pappu Yadav, and some disgruntled elements from JDU like Narendra Singh and Nitish Mishra, son of former Chief Minister Jagannath Mishra. And this party would most likely be the new partner in the new NDA in Bihar.
Okay.
After Nitish Kumar, there was no NDA left as such except for Ram Vilas and Upendra Kushwaha's party. They are small outfits. Now this would be an addition to that. So it would be a four-party alliance in Bihar against the combined might of Nitish Kumar and Lalu Yadav.
All right. Do stay with us, Neela. We'll in fact talk about, like you pointed out, the role of the BJP in this. Have they come out winners or losers? That's something that we are going to be looking at a bit closely. In fact, after staying behind the scene in the political drama that has unfolded in Bihar over the last several days, the BJP came to the forefront, issuing a whip to its MLAs to support Manjhi in the assembly yesterday. The party, of course, claims it took the decision to protect the dignity of a Mahadalit. But most political watchers believe that the BJP was privy to Manjhi's decision of tendering his resignation. The question now emerging whether the BJP's actions will actually help its base in Bihar. We'll get that report, in fact, in a bit on that. But let's quickly speak to also our correspondent Shyam Sundar, who's in fact joining us from the capital. Shyam, give us a sense really of what you're getting as far as, political pundits are concerned. What are they saying about BJP's move? Was it a risk that didn't pay off eventually?
Well, Tracy, as far as BJP is concerned, BJP is very, very clear. They knew that it will be very, very difficult for them to prove majority on the floor of the House because numbers were not with them. And in last few days, Nitish Kumar was very confident and he successfully protected his MLAs. Though there were some allegations of, from JDU and RJD MLAs that a few BJP leaders and few other leaders were trying to approach them and they were trying to poach MLAs, but ultimately Nitish Kumar was very confident and all the MLAs were united with Nitish Kumar and he had 130 MLAs. So BJP was very clear that it will not be very easy to prove majority for Jitan Ram Manjhi, but they still went ahead because they are planning for next assembly elections. They were not planning for this floor test which was supposed to be there today. So if we go by that script, BJP is successful. They have projected Jitan Ram Manjhi as a Mahadalit icon, and the way Jitan Ram Manjhi spoke in the press conference and the way Sushil Modi spoke in the press conference, they time and again referred that he is a Mahadalit and he is insulted and the whole community is insulted. So BJP in front of RJD and JDU combined, they needed a new vote bank.
Yes.
They had Ram Vilas Paswan and Upendra Kushwaha with them in Lok Sabha elections, and it paid for them in Bihar. So when Mahadalit community comes with them, there will be a new social equation in the Bihar as far as next assembly elections are concerned, and BJP is quite hopeful that it will pay for them in coming assembly elections.
All right. In fact, if I could go back to Neelab Mishra, who's our guest here in studio this evening. Neelab, the larger picture when we're looking at, of course, like you pointed out, 6 months down the line, that is the election that we are going to be looking at very closely. Learning a thing from the Delhi elections, would there be extra pressure really on Nitish Kumar, because the voters somehow, consider accountability, transparency as something, and that's the kind of wave that we're seeing across the country. What are the chances of Nitish Kumar to come back to power then?
I don't think Nitish Kumar has lost the plot. He hasn't. Because, his administration still evokes memories of a good administration even after so many months. And it was a good administration in, say, 2 decades that Bihar had. The minus points for Nitish are his alliance with Lalu. because Lalu's era is not known for good governance. There were governance issues then. But then Lalu has a solid vote bank, and it won't confuse the OBC vote bank now. OBC and plus minorities vote banks, because their two great champions are together.
Yes.
Mahadalit, as to Mahadalit votes, we have to see how it goes, because if Jitan Ram Manjhi is a Mahadalit and BJP is trying to project him as a Mahadalit icon, then the current speaker of the Bihar Assembly, Uday Narayan Chaudhary, is also a Mahadalit. Now, Mahadalit is not one single block. It also has within its various aspects of vibrant caste dynamics. For instance, I mean, there among the Mahadalits, the Musahars, the caste which Majhi represents, sometimes might vote differently than, say, Valmikis or Domes, which Uday Narayan Chaudhary would represent, and even in
Yes, and also 6 months is a long time.
Yes,
when you
in
think about
the long
it,
run. So it's not that
voters
easy.
can-
It's
yes,
not that easy.
yes,
I mean,
yes.
Bihar election, I don't think will play out only
Yes.
on the basis of caste.
Absolutely.
So
In fact,
governance
Nitish Kumar,
will be an issue.
Yes,
and there
Nitish Kumar saying that the BJP, in fact, after playing the race card in everywhere possible, is now playing the caste card. We'll have to see really of how the voters react to that. But in fact, talking of the BJP, let's quickly take a look at the kind of role that they've really played in this Bihar drama.
दूसरे लोगों से एक तरह से गालियां हमको दी जाने लगी कि ये जो शेड्यूल कास्ट के लोग हैं, ये जो महादलित के लोग हैं, ये लोग आक्रमण्य होता है, ये सुशासन नहीं चला सकता, विकास का काम नहीं कर सकता.
Soon after submitting his resignation, Jitan Ram Manjhi played the victim in the political game in Bihar. But in the process, he also gave weight to claims that BJP was behind all his actions. So far, the BJP had called the fight between Manjhi and Nitish Kumar as JDU's internal matter. But terming Manjhi a messiah of the Mahadalits, the party came out openly in his support. It's clear that neither the BJP nor Manjhi were confident of winning the floor test. So the drama was scripted for the assembly polls that are 6 months away.
आज नीतीश कुमार जी के पास महादलित समाज का वोट नहीं है. कहते हैं ना, कृष्ण है लेकिन कृष्ण की सेना नहीं है. तो वो अगर ये सोच रहे हैं कि पूरी जो सेना है, जिस वोट पर वो इतराते थे, वो वोट आज उनके खिलाफ हो गया है, तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने तय किया कि हम जीतन राम मांझी को सपोर्ट करेंगे, क्योंकि महादलित समाज को उन्होंने बनाया, तो फिर हटाया क्यों? हटाने में क्यों? उनके सारे वही मंत्री थे जो नीतीश कुमार जी ने नाम दिए. उनके मंत्री उनका बात नहीं सुनते थे, महादलित कह के अपमान करते थे. तो बीजेपी साथ रही. हम न्याय के साथ खड़े हैं और उस समाज के साथ भी खड़े हैं.
By coining the term Mahadalit, Nitish had created a new social equation in Bihar. Now he is accused of being against the same group that he created.
अनावश्यक जातीय कार्ड खेलने से कोई फायदा नहीं होता है. ये महादलित शब्द का इजाद भी मेरा ही किया हुआ है और हम समाज के सभी तबकों के प्रति कमिटेड है.
BJP tasted success in Bihar when it came together with Ram Vilas Paswan and Upendra Kushwaha during the Lok Sabha polls. But the alliance between Nitish, Lalu and Congress could have posed problems for the party. No wonder then it was looking for a new vote bank.
Political drama in Bihar has unfolded according to BJP's script and plan till now. BJP leaders are hoping by supporting Manjhi, they have created a new social equation in the state which is going to help them in state assembly elections. With cameraman Sudhashu Bhushan, this is Shyam Sundar for Rajya Sabha TV, Delhi.
A political drama indeed, and this was just scene one. A lot more to go. Shyam Sundar, our correspondent, thank you so much for joining us from the capital, and also Nilap Mishra of Outlook joining us in the studio. Thanks so much for helping us understand this big story. We'll take a quick break here, but still ahead, Prime Minister Modi promises unprecedented development of the Northeast during his visit to Arunachal Pradesh.
पेट्रोलियम मंत्रालय के दस्तावेज लीक, कॉर्पोरेट जासूसी में कई गिरफ्तार। देखिए पहली खबर, पेट्रोलियम मंत्रालय में जासूसी, आज शाम 7 बजे।
Welcome back. You're watching the news at 6. Investigations into the alleged leaking of classified documents from the Petroleum Ministry picked up pace today, with the Delhi police arresting 2 more persons in the case. 5 people, including 2 oil ministry staffers, were arrested yesterday. The 2 arrested today are energy consultants, with one of them being a former journalist. They were involved in procuring the official documents by trespassing into the offices of the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas at Shastri Bhavan in central Delhi. A Delhi court remanded 4 accused to police custody till the 23rd of February, while 3 other accused in the case remanded in 2 weeks judicial custody. The rooms they had allegedly accessed included that of the Special Secretary, 2 joint secretaries and some directors dealing with sensitive issues like exploration policy, petroleum pricing and gas pricing. Documents related to the coal and power ministries were also recovered from them.
जो हमारी अभी तक की तफ्तीश है उससे ये नज़र आता है कि चंद व्यक्ति इस प्रकार से डॉक्यूमेंट्स को नाजायज़ तरीके से चोरी किया करते थे। चोरी करने के बाद वो उनको फॉर मनी सर्टन इंडिविजुअल्स को दिया करते थे। अब वो सर्टन इंडिविजुअल्स इंडिपेंडेंट कंसल्टेंट भी हैं और वो सर्टन इंडिविजुअल कई ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में काम भी करते हैं। अब वो इंडिविजुअल्स तक तो हमें नॉलेज है, अब इंडिविजुअल से बात करके जो है हमें पता चलेगा कि ये इनका क्या यूज होता था।
It's up to investigating agency. They are doing their job. Let them do that. Independent inquiry is going on. Let it complete fast. Everything will come out.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Arunachal Pradesh today, his first trip to the frontier state as Prime Minister, to participate in its 29th Statehood Day. Modi promised new power projects and railway connectivity to the northeast, assuring that the region would witness huge progress in the next 5 years as compared to the last 28 years. The Prime Minister also flagged off the first train connecting the frontier state with Delhi. The Naharlagun-Delhi Weekly Express will complete the 2,100-kilometer-long journey in 38 hours. Modi also laid the foundation stone for a 132-kilowatt power transmission and distribution system project, and also unveiled the Itanagar water supply project. Later in the day, the Prime Minister also visited Jharkhand and inaugurated a new railway line from Hazaribagh to Kodarma. And now to our special series on expectations from the Union Budget. The Ministry of Roads and Highways has put forward a call for greater financial freedom to be able to implement the government's ambitious road construction targets, which could translate into higher road taxes for the user. Overcoming massive backlogs in output is also a big concern, as Kamal Rao now reports.
I proposed investment in the National Highway Authority of India and the state roads of an amount of rupees 37,880 crore, which will include rupees 3,000 crores for the Northeast. During the CFI, a target of National Highway construction of 8,500 crores will be achieved.
High promises, but it's been a largely different story on the ground. Of the 37,880 crore announced, only about 15,000 crore was actually allocated. Road construction targets fell behind too. The ministry informed the parliament that the government could construct 8 kilometers a day till 30th November 2014 as against 11.67 kilometers a day by UPA 2 in 2013 and 15.70 kilometers in 2012. Only 128 of 224 projects under implementation are running on schedule. Land acquisition wrangles, delays in clearances, work disputes and more are thrown a spanner on the works. And contractors are not at all happy.
A reasonable time of 3 to 4 months must be provided. In fact, shifting back is the only right method, because you cannot be sure of in how many months you will receive the payment. So either you go the tedious route, which is that the service receiver, when he makes the payment to you for providing the services, he should simultaneously deposit the service tax with the service tax authorities. That would be the neatest method of doing it.
This time, the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways has asked the Finance Minister to dedicate 50% of the road cess collected to the National Highways Authority of India. So expect a rise in road tax this time. The ministry also wants 50 more thousand crores to complete all pending projects. The government has set a 30-kilometer day deadline target for construction, which calls for corrections big time.
Now, we have seen in the newspaper reports that the Finance Minister has already announced that the increased amount due to increase in excise duty will be directly parked to the National Highway Authority of India.
Implementing pending road projects is crucial for Narendra Modi's government to achieve its growth targets in infrastructure sector. This argument becomes more relevant in the context of a freight transport, with roads carrying more than 60% of freight and 85% of passenger traffic. Next time when you go on a travel with your friends, family and colleagues, you may end up paying more money. This present budget may incur some kind of road taxes for the construction of roads. You may end up paying more money. With camera person Ashwini, Rajkamal Rao, Rajya Sabha TV.
Around international news, and fighting in Ukraine continues despite several efforts at reconciliation by the international community. NATO today expressed concern that the ceasefire exists only on paper and rules have been violated on the ground. UK has meanwhile condemned Russia's involvement and extended their allegiance to NATO, saying that they will remain resolute and united in the face of any challenge posed by Moscow. And that's it for this hour. Keep watching Rajya Sabha TV.